Who's the dumbest soldier you ever served with and what did he do? Private Billy Bullet Martinez at Camp Pendleton. This guy once asked if Marines were allowed to swim in the ocean because it belonged to the Navy. But his legendary moment of stupidity happened during weapons inspection in 2020. Our commanding officer, Colonel Stevens, was doing surprise barracks inspections. This is serious business. Everything had to be perfect, or the whole platoon would be running laps until sunrise. Bullet gets nervous and decides to improve his rifle's appearance the night before inspection. He finds a can of black spray paint in the maintenance shed and decides his M4 needs to look more tactical. The genius doesn't stop there. He also spray paints his helmet, his boots, his belt, and even his dog tags, because he wants everything to match perfectly. By the time he's done, his entire bunk area looks like a paint bomb went off. Next morning, we're all standing at attention next to our bunks. Colonel Stevens walks down the line checking weapons. Everything's going smooth until he gets to Bullet. Stevens picks up the rifle, and his hand comes away covered in wet black paint. The gun is literally dripping. Bullet had spray painted his entire service weapon the night before, including the trigger, barrel, and sight. But it gets worse. Stevens tries to inspect the action, but the bolt won't move because Bullet painted over all the moving parts. The safety won't switch. The magazine won't eject. This idiot had basically turned a $200 military weapon into a black plastic prop. Stevens is standing there with paint all over his white inspection gloves, staring at this dripping mess. The whole platoon is trying not to laugh. You can hear Rodriguez behind me making these weird choking sounds trying to hold it in. Then Stevens notices Bullet's boots are leaving black footprints on the barracks floor. His helmet has paint drops all over his pillow. Even his name tape is painted over so you can't read Martinez anymore. Then Bullet, in his infinite wisdom, says, "Sir, I wanted to make sure it looked regulation black, sir." Stevens just looks at him and says, "Son, this weapon was already regulation black." Turned out Bullet is colorblind and thought his perfectly normal rifle looked too gray. He'd been worried about failing inspection because he couldn't tell the difference between military black and regular black. The armorer spent 6 hours with paint thinner trying to save the rifle. Bullet spent 6 weeks on kitchen duty and had to pay $800 in damages. Environmental Services had to replace the entire floor section in his bunk area because the paint had soaked through the wood. But here's the kicker. Stevens kept one of Bullet's painted magazines on his desk as a paperweight for the rest of his command. Sometimes being too eager to impress is worse than not caring at all.